and welcome to another episode of Build That House with me, Jim. It's episode 128. Welcome back. I'm glad you're here. Today we start session 3 of the trenching for the water line and sewer line. And old Roy has just fired up the machine and we're underway. So let's take a quick look. Now, we do have a tech cable coming up here shortly. I've marked it out with a little bit of that dissolvable paint or whatever you call it. Markers paint. So as we come up to that, we're going to have to be careful. But let's do it. 128. Let's get this trench done. Big job. So you guys may not realize this, but on February the 14th, I think it might have been Valentine's Day, 2019 is when this project really began. Now, I wasn't documenting it or had a channel at that time, but I'm going to insert some old footage of literally from February 2019 when this module home here used to be in this location. So I had to move it in order to even begin the construction here. So in a way, this has been going on for 5 years. There was about an 18-month break after we moved it to get things organized, to start construction. But let's take a look at that stuff. It's kind of interesting. I look a little bit different. Welcome to another edition of We Needed House. Today the excavator arrived. Here it is. And this is going to be leveling out all this area here so we can relocate this double-wide mobile home to the front yard using only the power of my mind. But we'll do that later. So, this is very exciting. The first part of leveling out the earth for our new location. Leveling out that area for the trailer to go there so that that location will be available to build our house. Thanks for joining us on another edition of We Needed House. We're right at the tech cable now. See some yellow plastic. Okay, we had a bit of a problem here, but we did not hit the internet wire. We pulled the conduit off. These are the strings that they use to pull new services through. I will repair all of this. I still have internet on my phone out here, so no damage is done. And I just about had a heart attack. Just about had a heart attack. We got away with it somehow. Anyway, we will carry on. There's the new old water line, which is practically on the surface. I don't know what the hell. That's not code. That should have been 2 feet down. Thank God no damage was done there. It looks bad, people, but watch. When I'm done with it, you won't even know the difference. Got a little bit of a curvature to it, but that's no problem. That's why people think, oh, you framed your house. You got it made now. The way I can see it, the framing of a house is probably 15 to 20% of the actual work to construct the house. So much of this time-consuming groundwork and trenching just goes on and on. But it takes a long time. I can't believe it. You're still doing it after 5 years. It's like, really? When is this going to be over? Guess what? It's not. I'm going to go fix this up. I'll show it to you in a minute here. Look at this frickin' trench. Insane. Whoa, whoa. Don't have any accidents now. That's like 5 feet deep. All right. Well, that's session 3, let's say. We didn't work Tuesday on this. And abracadabra, alakazam, somehow magically, that conduit is perfect again. It's the magic of Jim. So, this will be interesting. Now we have to have the inspector by and consult with him a little bit about where he wants these cleanouts. Basically, our they access the sewer line. So if there's any obstruction, they have to be every 50 feet. Not going to come straight up on them. And if I do, will I need a concrete box or something to protect them from the driveway? Or, is he going to want me to shoot them off? But basically, this whole front yard is a driveway. So, anyway, I'm beat, man. There's nothing like shoveling in the blazing heat all day. I'm going to be very happy when this is done and it's all buttoned up. And then I got... All right. It's the next day and the building inspector's on his way over. He's going to check out the trench and make sure everything's okay for me to glue it up. And then we're going to load it up with water, and then he can come back and check that out. But it's always a bit nerve-wracking because they're the ultimate power. And sometimes logic and things like that don't relate to what the book says. And sometimes the physical situation of the house doesn't allow for book application, if you know what I mean. It's just the reality of every house being completely different and the variables being completely different. To abide to a set rule is just difficult. So you kind of gotta weave and bob a little bit, but what they say goes, and that's the fact of it. So you just have to cross your fingers and hope that everything's gonna be okay. I want everything to be okay, and I try to do everything. My goal is to build the best house that I possibly can. So I'm not into taking shortcuts that are gonna reduce the quality of the house or create problems down the road. Anyway, we'll see what he says. All right, Roy is back on the scene, finishing the last, 10, 15 feet of the trench. The building inspector was just here, checked everything out, and had no problems with any of it. When you work really hard at something and then someone rolls by and says, you got a big problem and you have to do A, B, and C to fix it, it's demoralizing, to say the least. So, guy was reasonable, and it looks good. So all I have to do now is glue up the pipe as the way he wants it, and then we can move forward. Not bad for 80 years old, eh? Within 2 inches. That's defunct anyway. What a relief. I actually see the light on the other end of the tunnel now, which immediately makes my brain start going, okay, what's next?